This is a galette recipe that I got off of YouTube. And right now I'm going to do the crust.
This may not be super apparent, but the reason why we're using this particular cutting board is because we chopped up vanilla to make our vanilla extract before, so it's permeated with vanilla and we're hoping flavor. It smells so delicious, so I'm hoping this works.
But right now we're making the crust, so it is 200 grams all-purpose flour, 20 grams of sugar. This has like 3 grams of salt, but it also calls for unsalted butter. I'm using salted butter. They kept as chilled as possible. It is 150 grams of butter, which you add in here. I like to give it a little toss to combine. Most people use a food processor. This is the closest thing we've had for quite a while. A Ninja. We have them combined. Pulse to combine the butter with the dry ingredients. You want to get it to kind of a pebbly texture. If there's a few hunks of butter left, that's fine. I can hear the lack of it bumping around, so I like to give it a shake, and that'll make sure that it's incorporated. And now, 1/4 cup of ice water, which is about 65 grams, and you're putting it in while pulsing. Try this. Yeah, all flaky and everything, but it'll come together. Something like that. I'll maybe pressure it down a little bit so that when I knock it out, it's not going everywhere. This, you squeeze into a mass. It's pretty solid to begin with, but I like to take the bulk of it, kind of press it into anything that's loose to incorporate it. And I'm pressing it into a disc that you put into plastic wrap, or I'm actually just going to use a convenient container with the lid. And you put it in the fridge for at least an hour. I'm also pressing it where the vanilla bean is, or was cut. I don't know if it'll pick up any flavor, but ain't gonna hurt nothing. Now this goes in the fridge for about an hour. Now we're making the filling. We are going to use Granny Smith apples. Step 1, peel and dice. So here we have 2 medium-large apples. These are Granny Smiths. You can also use Honeycrisp. I often use Fuji just because that's a great brand to keep at home because they have a good lifespan and don't bruise as easily. I consider those to be my default apple to just have around the house, but if I'm doing a recipe, I'll pick out a different variety. To this mixture, we are going to add 50 grams of granulated sugar, 15 grams of cornstarch, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon cinnamon. Wow, that is a strong.
So cinnamons are either cassia cinnamons or they're Ceylon cinnamon.
This is the fancy cinnamon. It's definitely a very strong smell. Nutmeg. We got these over at Penzies. For some reason, I was having a hard time finding whole nutmegs in my area. This has a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm sure that's more than a 1/4 teaspoon, but this is going to be strong and incredible. Lemon juice. Just a teaspoon.
Just to keep the apples from getting brown.
Oh, really? And we mix all of this up.
Yeah.
And we're going to let these rest a little bit. We're going to bring out our crust, let the pie crust rest for about 10-15 minutes to warm up just slightly before we roll it out. Our apples have soaked up the sugar, started releasing some juices. Now we start rolling out our dough. Take your time with this part. Now you're not looking for paper thin. This is to roll it out into about a 12-inch circle, plus minus. I'm going to transfer it onto some parchment paper. Roll it out just a little bit more. Hey Mars, could you fetch an egg? I forgot that I need one for the egg wash. This is rolled out. Could be a little rounder, but there are a couple different ways you can spread this out. I've seen like carefully placing it out so it's nice and neat and everything, but you know, let's face it, I don't feel like it. Pile it up in the middle. There. I spread it out so it's all on the parchment paper, or all the filling is on the parchment paper, because I'm going to be folding this up and over. Now we fold up the sides of the galette. There are some fancier ways to do it. I'm just kind of folding it up and then folding these. It gets the job done. Last little bit of liquid we have in here, pouring that and all that delightful flavor into the middle. And we take one of our eggs from the backyard chickens, and then we top it with a bit of raw sugar. Bake it at 375 for about 40 to 50 minutes. It seems that vanilla in just casual experience seems to impart a great flavor, but it takes time to really saturate something. Okay.
Yeah, just quarter it for the whole family. I think we'll all have it. This would be extra delicious with ice cream.
But currently there's about an inch of ice outside and I'm not walking.
It's okay. I'm going to eat it just like a pizza. Oh, it's so good. You see what I mean?
That is good. And I think the crust came out better than the last time I made it, because last time I think I overhydrated it. Okay, this is a win.